Hello everyone, I'm back again. Today I'm going to take you on a journey with an intuitive landscape, which what you see right here is a drawing I've been working on today, just making it up out of my mind, relying on past experiences from previous landscapes. And from this drawing I'm going to switch over to this. I did the black and white just to let you know how I worked with the shapes, and just very simple doodle. And now I'm going to start painting it in with the acrylic, and I'm going to move fairly quickly here to cover the background. I'm working on just an 80-pound piece of paper today, so you're going to see a little bit of wrinkling and some kind of watery streaking, but I will get past that as I go towards the finish. I'm going to work pretty exclusively here with acrylic to begin this painting, and as I go towards the back end, I'll be bringing in oil pastel. I hope everyone out there is having a good time today, has had a good day. Anyway, the studio is kind of my refuge. I like to go here as much as I can. And just putting down paint on paper or canvas is something that completely relaxes me. It takes me out of my mind. I tend to overthink things, and making art definitely brings me back into a better space. I have made so many landscapes in my lifetime. I feel like I can work from memory, and that's exactly what I'm doing here with the intuitive attempt here. And landscape, I started making them probably when I was 14. I think I've discussed that in previous videos. But I like to experiment with the media and see where it takes me. And having prior knowledge makes it a little easier to trust your instincts, which is what intuitive is all about. When I was younger, my parents always bought me art supplies. They definitely helped feed my interest in art. That said, I often got paint on the floor or in carpeting or on my clothes. So I remember all that happening. They weren't happy with that, but they accepted me for who I was. And today I have a studio where if I get messy, there's no problem. You can see the back of this board, how much paint has been scraped off it. So anyway, it's good to be able to make a mess in a place where you can control it. Landscape's probably something I started making earlier because that's what was around me. I grew up in the rural Midwest, and I could draw from many things, but if I want to draw from life, landscapes were pretty much it. It was hard to get a model to sit for you, so landscapes became the thing that I really adhered to, and all the great landscape artists also pointed me in that direction. Working from memory does have its challenges, and as I work with it, I try to remember back all the different trees, different hills, different fields that I've done, and you can kind of go for it. You may not have a photographic memory, but if you try to get close to what your memory is, I think you're going to find a lot of possibilities in the abstraction of it as well. Many of my students and friends ask me who my major influences were. There's just so many to name, but if you would like to name one of your influences or the landscape artist you enjoy, please leave it in the comments. I always enjoy reading through what people say and some of their opinions. If you liked the video today, please subscribe and hit the like button. Like I said, the commentary is always really nice to read. It's nice to see a community of artists out there. I was watching a video today, and it said one of the best things to do as an artist or a designer is to join a community, get constructive feedback, be a critic, but also at the same time lend support and encouragement. And that's certainly what I do with my students. It's great to make mistakes because you learn from them, and when you have a community of people supporting you, it really means a lot. Okay, now I'm going to transition over to my oil pastels. And here's the box I'm using, the same ones, the Neo pastels I've shown in other videos. And I'm going to use these to go into the trees more and create a sense of contrasting colors. And you're going to see that evolve as we go through the last section of this clip. When I do art, I often think about things from my past. My mother was from Appalachia, and she grew up extremely poor, and she was one of my best supports. I think she always wanted to be an artist herself, but just didn't have the means for it. So as a result, she was very generous in encouraging me to do what I'm doing right here. My dad also was very supportive. I think he didn't quite understand exactly what art meant, but nevertheless, I think he was pretty proud of what I did. And towards the end of his life, we definitely connected more on the love of art that I made. And he had a lot of his images, a lot of my images hanging in his room in the retirement center. So both my parents were pretty supportive. Without them, I don't think I could have continued on, especially growing up in the rural Midwest. Not a lot of people appreciated what art was, and it took me a while to understand what I could do, and travel and living in other places helped me in that regard. So who has been your biggest supporter in your making art or being creative maybe in other ways? It's always good to seek out people in that regard. There used to be a term called wet blanket. You don't want to be around wet blankets, people that criticize and kind of stop your progress. Okay, the surface here is still a little wet, but sometimes I go right in with pastels at the same time. Here I'm going to bring some contrasting shadows to the back hills using my old Chinese Malby brush, which I used quite often when I lived in Taiwan. And even when I use this brush, it takes me back to the memories of the classes I had there and the friends that I went out and painted with. Okay, very close to finishing. I've got most of the colors down, the textures down, the shading, and the contrast. But now I'm going to do something I always love to do, and that is doing opacity. If you look at a lot of my artwork and my other videos, I often let things come through, and I definitely rely on accidents or things that I don't like and I go back over. But that became kind of a trend for me, so now I purposefully bring in transparency to bring more interest to the image. And that's it for today. Here's a breakaway shot of the entire picture. I hope you enjoyed this today, and I will see you again next time. Thanks for watching.